Welcome to the Mobile Home Friend YouTube channel. I am Charles Odell, and this is your primary resource for everything manufactured housing. Whether you are tackling a full remodel like the one you see here, or just looking for honest advice on repairs and financing, we provide the data and technical deep dives you need to succeed. Our mission is simple: to help you save money and improve your home through first principles logic and transparent cost breakdowns. For the full technical guides and even more resources, visit us at mobilehomefriend.com.
Welcome to another deep dive from Mobile Home Friend. Today we are looking at the crucial cabinet decision for your next flip, based on our latest research at mobilehomefriend.com. We're talking ready to assemble versus custom cabinets.
All right, let's jump right in. Look, for any investor, the name of the game is that buy to exit spread. It's everything. But the kitchen, oh man, it's a total minefield. You spend too much, you just torture profit. But if you cheap out, that home is going to sit on the market forever.
And that's the knife's edge we all walk, right? It's this constant battle. You have to create that wow factor that gets a buyer to fall in love, but you can't let the cost of that wow completely eat up your margin. So, what's the answer?
Well, the data really tells the story here. We crunched the numbers for a standard 10x12 kitchen, and it breaks down into 3 tiers. You've got your basic stock cabinets in Tier 1. Fine for a rental, maybe. Then all the way up at Tier 3, you have full custom, which can easily hit $15,000 or more. But right there in the middle, Tier 2, that's the sweet spot. Premium ready to assemble. For a flip, this consistently gives you the highest return on your investment. It's the pro move.
And believe me, I can tell you that from personal experience. This is a lesson I learned the hard, expensive way. It was a classic case of my ego writing checks my profit couldn't cash. And honestly, it's a story I think every investor needs to hear.
So here it is. I dropped 14 grand on these gorgeous custom cabinets for a double wide. I told myself, hey, it's a high-end park, it needs high-end finishes. You know what happened? A competitor sold their place down the street for more than I did. They used $5,000 RTA cabinets, and they poured that $9,000 savings into jaw-dropping appliances and countertops. Their kitchen ended up looking way more impressive to the buyer.
That story just hits the nail on the head. The reality is, the visual difference between a high-quality RTA cabinet and a custom one is so small now, a buyer just can't see the price gap. They just see a beautiful new kitchen. Spending that extra money on custom for a flip, well, it's just not a logical move.
Okay, so now let's get into the bones of this decision. In a manufactured home, you have to remember, cabinets aren't just pretty furniture. They're actually part of the home structure. The house can shift and flex over time, and your cabinets have to be able to handle that unique stress. And this is where the material you choose becomes absolutely critical. Plywood is made of these cross-laminated layers, which makes it incredibly strong and resistant to what's called racking. That's the twisting and leaning that can happen. MDF or particle board, on the other hand, it's basically sawdust held together with glue. It has zero, and I mean zero, structural memory. And the worst part? It acts like a sponge. One little leak under the sink, and the whole thing just swells up and disintegrates.
So this really shows you where your money needs to go. Half of your cabinet budget, 50%, should be dedicated to the boxes themselves, and you have to insist on plywood. But look at that huge 30% slice for labor. When you choose RTA, ready to assemble, and you build them yourself, you put that 30% right back into your own pocket. That's a huge win.
Okay, before you even unbox a single cabinet, we have got to talk about what's underneath. These are the non-negotiable checks you have to make. Seriously, building a $10,000 kitchen on top of a failing $10 pipe is just asking for a complete disaster. You've got to protect that investment.
And here are the 3 things you must do. First, what we call the squish test. Just walk around the edges of the kitchen, especially under the sink. If you feel any soft spots, that's almost certainly a rotted particle board subfloor. It has to be replaced. Second, you're hunting for gray polybutylene pipes. They're a ticking time bomb for leaks. And third, test your electrical. You have to know if that circuit can actually handle a modern microwave and dishwasher.
And I really can't say this loudly enough. If you see those gray pipes, you stop. Full stop. As we noted on the site, replacing all that old polybutylene with modern packs is a mandatory upgrade, not an optional one. One tiny pinhole leak can soak and destroy the base of your brand new plywood cabinets in less than a day. If you want the full cost breakdown for that job, check out the post on mobilehomefriend.com. All right, so you've got your solid subfloor, your new plumbing, now for the fun stuff. How do we create that feeling of luxury without breaking the bank? The secret is in what we call touch points.
All the little things a buyer actually touches and feels that signal quality.
And you're gonna love this. What's the cost for that big luxury signal? For an entire kitchen, upgrading every single hinge and drawer slide to soft close hardware is gonna run you maybe an extra $150 to $300. That's it. It is hands down the best money you will spend on your finishes.
You know why? Because it's pure psychology. A buyer opens a cabinet, and instead of hearing that cheap clatter when it closes, it just glides shut silently. That little detail sends a massive subconscious signal. It says, this wasn't a cheap flip. This was done right, with care.
And you can really double down on that quality feel with these choices. Stick with all-plywood, white shaker-style cabinets. They're timeless, and they make a small kitchen feel huge. Use oversized handles in matte black or brushed gold for that modern pop. And if you can swing it, get undermount drawer slides. Because they're hidden, it gives the drawers a clean, high-end look that lets you market the kitchen as custom style.
So, let's put this all together into one simple, non-negotiable rule. This is what we call the Investor Directive, and it's a core principle we talk about on the Mobile Home Friend website.
Here it is. Assemble premium all-plywood RTA cabinets yourself. Then you take all that money you saved, thousands of dollars, and you reinvest it where it actually counts in a manufactured home, on a solid subfloor and reliable plumbing. That is the formula.
And really, it all boils down to this one question you have to ask yourself. Because in this business, a flashy kitchen is one thing, but it's the stuff nobody sees, the infrastructure that creates real, lasting value and protects your profit. So, is your investment truly built on a solid foundation, or is it just hiding a problem for the next guy? Thanks for watching. For more guides and the full article on this topic, head over to mobilehomefriend.com. Don't forget to check the links in the description below.
Thanks for watching. For more technical guides on this topic, click the link to see the in-depth article over at mobilehomeframe.com. There are many more informational dives into manufactured home topics to investigate and keep your project moving forward.